Welcome to another episode of Skatepark Showcase. Today I'm at the Powhatan Springs Skatepark in Arlington, Virginia. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. We are right outside of the Washington, D.C. area, and this park is gnarly. Let's check it out. Arlington, Virginia. I've never been in this area for skateboarding purposes, and it's a pretty impressive park to be the first park that I've done in the state of Virginia. Like I said earlier, it's just outside of Washington, D.C., so it is a very highly populated area, lots of traffic, lots of people, but it's really cool. I like the vibes up here. So far, it's been a great experience, and there are tons of skate parks all around here, like tons. Hopefully I can come back up here several times to hit as many skate parks as I can. I'm actually going to try and hit one or two tomorrow. So let's get into this skate park and what it's got to offer. Right when you roll up, you'll notice it's in the middle of a city, not out in the middle of nowhere like a lot of parks are that I've been to, and it is constructed very, very nicely. It's all concrete. It is a team paint skate park, so you know it's gonna be a lot of fun to ride. And it's not a gigantic park, but it's got a good size to it, a lot of elements, and pretty much has a little bit of everything for any type of skater. Layout wise, I'd probably just boil it down to two sections, bowl and street. On one side, there is the street section is just one strip, a lot of back and forth action. And the other side, the bowl is comprised of three separate bowls. Let's break down the street section first. I'm not gonna go over every single little detail because there's a lot to cover, and I didn't get to skate every, tiny little thing out here, but we'll just do kind of like a general pass through of some of my favorite things that are out here. There are two A-frames, one smaller, that's sort of in the center of the park. It is super chill, super mellow, definitely good for like beginner to intermediate skaters. A super low handrail on one side that's really easy to hit, and a nice grind ledge going up and down the A-frame as well. There's also this really tiny hip on it that was really hard to skate. All I got was a back 180 on it, but it was pretty cool. Just beyond that, there is another A-frame. This one's definitely a little bit bigger, and it's actually one side's a little shorter than the other. So you've got one long handrail and one short handrail. I just hit the short handrail, and you also have a ledge on the side of it as well. Down at the far end, there is a nice super long handrail with a little bump into it. And right next to that, there's a super long grind ledge. On the opposite side, there is a couple of handrails, one that's like super tall. I think it's probably good for BMXers. I would definitely rack myself trying that thing. And then next to it, there's one that's a little bit lower, that's a little bit easier to skate, but it's definitely not like a beginner's handrail. And then there is a bump gap to box, and that was pretty cool. You can get a lot of speed here, so it was pretty easy to get enough speed to make that gap and then grind on the box. There's some banks off to the side that there's like a hip on there, which is pretty cool. Really chill, really mellow hip, easy to skate for sure. And then they have like a bank to a curb. That's kind of cool. That pretty much wraps up the street section. It's just a lot of back and forth. Everything flows really well. There are a couple other things here and there that I didn't touch on, but you get the gist of it. I like the back and forth action. It makes navigating it really easy. You can clearly see everybody who's coming and going because this is a pretty busy skate park, so that's nice. You don't have to worry about people cutting in front of you and stuff like that because they're coming at a different angle. There's a lot of room for speed. Everything's spaced out pretty well. It doesn't feel like it's too congested at all. And then we get to the bowls, and they are gnarly. I didn't even touch the bowls because, well, number one, I'm not that good at them. Thankfully, I was able to meet up with this kid and his dad. His name is Erin, and he is an absolute ripper. He's a 14-year-old. This is his local park, and he absolutely kills it. I had a lot of fun hanging out with him and his dad. His dad's a super cool guy. He's always out here filming and hanging out with him, taking him out to these different parks around this area. It's awesome to have somebody to really showcase what can be done in these bowls. So basically, let's just break down these bowls real quick. There's one really large one that has a lot of different obstacles and elements to it. It was really cool. I'm just gonna call it like a flow bowl. You can really just flow around and do some crazy stuff. There's more like beginner sections of it, and then there's super advanced. So like it's maybe 4 to 5 feet tall in the majority of it, and then you've got like this deep end with a huge wall. It was crazy. Erin was just blasting through it, going fast, back and forth, huge airs. It was a lot of fun to see. He was absolutely ripping it up. There are 2 pools. One is a little bit smaller, that's not quite as deep. I think that would be a great one to learn on, how to carve pools and stuff like that. And the big one is super, super gnarly. I wouldn't even touch that thing because that's not my expertise at all. But once again, Erin was just absolutely ripping it. It was a lot of fun to see him just tear it up. I don't get to see people skating this type of stuff very often, so it can be intimidating if you've never even, like, I've come across stuff like this before and I'm just like, I don't even know what I can film on these because I don't know how to do it, don't have a lot of experience. And it's nice seeing somebody out here actually doing those things that I had never learned how to do. And that gives me confidence to say, okay, maybe I can learn some of this stuff. And getting to watch them and see them in person do some of these things kind of helps me put some of the pieces together on what I need to do to try and learn that as well. At the end of the night, Erin just kept going at it on this one trick that he was trying to do. So he had a ramp tech kicker and he was airing from the kicker into the deep end of the bowl and then popping out to hit this ramp tech grind rail, like transferring into the other bowl. And he was going at it for a good, it had to have been at least 2 hours, just nonstop going at it. And his dad was out there supporting him, filming him. I almost had to leave before he landed the trick, but thankfully I was able to stick it out and I got him on film landing it. I only got it with my phone. Like I was spending some time with my camera trying to get him, see if he could get it. And eventually I ran out of battery. I was like, well, I'll whip out my phone. So he got it and it was super sick. One of the coolest things I've ever seen done at a skate park in person. So overall, really cool area, really cool park. I had a blast out here. Pretty populated. I mean, there were some kids and stuff here, so that can be, you gotta be careful, but mostly like all the kids kind of knew the etiquette. They weren't really like cutting you off or anything. So it was a very respectful, fun community. Had a lot of good conversations with a lot of guys out here. Everybody was super supportive of each other, and I just got a really great vibe from this place. It's just a pull up and skate, you know, no waiver, nothing like that. Pull up, skate, have fun. It's open till 10 o'clock at night. There are lights out here, and these are some of the best lights I've ever seen. No harsh shadows, super bright, like LED stadium lighting. It's legit. So yeah, if you're in the DC area, Northern Virginia area, dude, come check this place out. It's a really, really cool park, solid park. Thanks for checking out another episode of Skatepark Showcase. If you'd like to support this channel and help me financially so I can continue to do this and stay on the road, just go to patreon.com/parksharks. As little as $1 goes a really, really long way. But if you can't support financially or don't want to, that's totally fine. There are other ways that you can support the channel by liking, subscribing, but most importantly, sharing it with your buddies. So, you know, you never know. I might come to a place where they're going to be visiting and they need to see what kind of parks are around that area. Thank you guys for checking out another episode. Here's what's coming up next.